You gotta love a bullshit Vice article every now and again. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. When Vice used to be really good. And when many things were really good. No wonder people wrapped up in nostalgia these days. Ah, well. Inside the movement to reprogram masculinity. Through classes and workshops, men across the United States are attempting to unlearn toxic masculinity for society and for themselves. I'm glad it's for themselves and for society. This whole toxic masculinity thing, the first time I heard about it, I was like, this is bullshit. Look, the way I see it is, there's assholes out there, and there's people who have got mental problems. Like, half the people, the sort of people they describe, I would say the people I know who fit that description are like people with bipolar disorders, and people probably with head injuries, like the rough and tumbles. I think there's people with issues. We're a broken species. That's it. But the idea of the attack on masculinity bothers me. I remember years ago I was like chatting to this girl and she was like, "Oh, you seem like a man's man." I was like, I don't think anyone's ever called me a fucking man's man before. I know I've got like a shaved head and shit, but and I talk crazy, but I'm not really like a man's man, you know. I mean, I know, you know, I like football, and I can talk about football all day long, because I figured, this is what I say to my friends who don't like football. I was like, look, if you don't like football, you need to just at least learn about football, because you can literally have a conversation with anyone across most of the planet, except Americans, because they're fucking weird, you know, and it's a good starting point, is to talk about football. Like when you meet someone new as a bloke, and like the dreaded silence comes in, you're like, shit, what do I talk about? Let's talk about football, mate. Talk about football. Don't talk about fucking politics or your feelings. You idiot. Talk about football. It's a great middle ground. But that's not what makes you masculine. Masculinity, I keep seeing a lot of stuff like it is under attack, and it really is. It really is. You know, a few years ago, I wouldn't have much of a problem with it. Like, because I've always lived a life where I think nothing applies to me, like all the rules, everything, all the pigeonholes they put you in, you know, or how people sort of say you are this and because you are this, you are this, and you are this. It's never applied to me because I've never felt the same as other people. I've always felt like a fucking alien. I still do. So when people have prejudices against me or prejudgments, how they think I am or what I am, I don't give a fuck, because it's like, no, you have no idea who you're dealing with at all. And I'll let them put me in a box. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with being put in a box, because hey, you know, the element of surprise, bitch, it will fuck you up. You know, I don't use big words. You know, I don't overtly go around trying to be all macho, manly. Ooh, fucking none of that. I'll let you think you can think whatever you like, and that will be your undoing. Is to prejudge me, and I think maybe other people are like that too. Maybe I'm not so fucking special. You know, I have no problem with discovering I'm not so special and not such a massive individual after all. It would be quite reassuring. So many people trying hard to be so different out there. It's pathetic. You know, so many people are like, I'm so different, I'm so this, and it's like, they all try hard, man. If you really are different and you really don't fit in, the one thing you want to do is fit in a lot of the time. You just want to be regular like other folk and live their lives. And the ones who try hard to not be regular, like fuck you, you got everything and you just want to throw it all away? Bizarre. The attack on masculinity is disgusting, because for many, I tell you this, and this is a recent discovery of mine, for many, many years, Like, I've had just the tightest moth-ridden pockets I could ever describe. I thought, you know, it's like equality. You know, I go up and go and say, "You gonna buy me a drink?" Like, no, you buy me a drink, bitch. Like, and I always thought, you know, I'll be there for you. I'll listen to you. I'll love you. I'll hug you. I'll be kind. I'll do all this to blah, da, blah, da, blah. But, like, you start talking about money and shit, it's like, you got to go. And maybe that's because I've been with, you know, some lazy job shy women. I think that's the only way I could really describe it. Not even necessarily job shy, some of them, but just the wrong ones. But it was in my mentality of what being a man was and all this, and seriously, it's only too recently. That's because of certain events that's happened in my life that have been quite traumatic, and I think that's led on to other stuff happening. That I've sort of realised something, and I've had some experiences recently where I was like, I've spent money, you know, and be sort of like my little introduction to providing. Because I've only really provided for myself, so it's like I'm providing, and I was like, and it felt good. I was like, you know, spending money. I was like, I'm spending money, and it's not for me, but I was like, this is for you. Yeah, you get that. Yeah, have this. And I'm like, God, this feels really good. It feels fucking good. I've never felt like that before in my fucking life. 10 years ago, hell, even a year ago, I would have like spat in my own face and gone, what is wrong with you? Fucking chump. So I think I finally become a man. Maybe. Because I realise it's like what other people have, and what it is like to provide, to be a provider is built deep down into us, and I've just been totally going against my own nature, what is really our own nature, you know. Trying to go against the grain so hard that I was going against myself. I don't know. But there's something about being masculine for me, I've discovered, is like there's no better feeling that I see how it can be that you have children and a wife or whatever it is, and you provide for them. It's like just a beautiful thing that they are reliant on you. And it's not even an ego thing or like a God complex going, haha, look at me. It feels right and it feels good. And it's good for them. It's like this, you know, it's the yin yang. It's the to and fro. It's the come and go. It's the tide goes in, the tide goes out. Whatever. It just feels good. It fucking feels good. I can't explain it, and it's blown my mind. It's literally split my brain in half. I feel like maybe I need medication, but apparently other people do this, and they're perfectly happy doing it. So you know, so I'm like, well, what's this attack on masculinity for? That you want to protect and provide, which is one of our basic human instincts. And maybe all those years when I was just tight-fisted, I was just a massive pussy boy. Maybe. Shit, man. Yeah, it's not like I want to suddenly go out and just fight everyone. Like, fucking, you know, it's not like that. It's just like it does feel good. I can understand why people would want just the lady not to work and you just provide for them. I can understand that basic instinct. I'm not saying that's what I'd want, you know. Like, this is the modern age. You do what you fucking want, but like, I just totally get it now. And not because I've had some sort of thought process where I thought through it all and go, oh yeah, well this is this and this. Nothing like that. It's just happened. I've done something. It's happened, and I'm here now. And I'm like, ugh, fuck, huh. And it's just this. I just have this amazing energy about me. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe I'm losing my mind. Fuck knows. Fucking. Maybe this is my downfall. Who knows? But you know, when I see shit like this, and you know, and I'm not usually the defender of all. I'm not like the champion of all men. I am the champion and defender of all men. I am not. Hell no. I never really have been. The harshest critic of men. But like, this is some fucking bullshit. When I see bullshit, I'll go, this is a bullshit. And it's really, this is really bothering me more than any other things. I don't know why, because I think men need to be men and women need to be women. It's so important. It's like the balance of fucking life. Like, women are incredibly strong in certain ways and incredibly weak in other ways, and so are men in equal amounts, and that's how we like bind together. This is why there's a penis and a vagina. Do you see? It fits. Do you see that? It's like a jigsaw. You know jigsaws? Oh, look at that. It fits together. It's the perfect analogy. The penis and the vagina. Boop. You know, you might think, oh, well, that's a crass analogy. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself with these two fingers. That's crass. Fucking idiot. Let's see what this bullshit. This article's really long. I don't know if I'm going to get. I've already spoken for 10 minutes. This is probably about 2 hours long. In 2006, 56-year-old Nathan got in a fight with his teenage stepdaughter, Mandy, over the way she was doing her chores. Things got physical. He shoved her backward onto the floor. They'd always fought, but things had never gotten this out of control before. It was one of the worst things I've ever done, Nathan tells me. Oh, it was like I left my body. My anger just exploded out in a horrific way that was completely disproportionate to the situation. I have to say, the way I reacted must have scared me almost as much as it scared her. Yeah, that's called weakness. It's called being weak. It's not toxic. It's called being weak. I've been in similar situations myself. I was weak. I was a weak-minded person. And you know what I did? I worked better to be better. And, yes. After that, Nathan realised he needed help processing his emotions. He was the sort of liberal, ordinarily compassionate man who raised money for Planned Parenthood. I don't know if you can be that compassionate if, like, you're raising money for something that kills babies. And when you really think about it, it's kind of weird, isn't it? I don't know, it's a bit strange. It was a strange way to approach it, going, yeah, I like the murder of babies. You know, I'm being a bit, but you know, it's funny, isn't it? Ordinarily compassionate man who raised, walked out of violent movie. Oh, he walked out of violent movie. No, this is too violent. Die Hard 4. Too much violence for me. I am leaving. And acting nothing. This is some bullshit. Acting like nothing like the archetypes of toxic masculinity that saturate politics. Saturate politics? How many toxic males are in politics? They're the most inept, limp dick motherfuckers I've ever seen. Toxic. Oh, these men, these ultra manly politicians. Like who? Jacob Rees-Mogg. You know, I started off real profound, and now, as soon as I started reading this thing, I've just descended into hysterics. This is great. Anyway, but he had, like most people, grown up with the idea that physical dominance was a desirable male trait. He had, like most people, grown up with the idea that physical dominance was a desirable male trait. No, not physical dominance, my friend. No. No, and it's not desirable, it's an effective, maybe effective. As a lifelong football player, suppressing pain and acting tough had always seemed like the way men were supposed to act. Yeah. The way men are supposed to act. Right. I'm going to lay it down for you like this. Being strong for everyone else is a good trait. And even if you're faking it, to be a rock. And I've had experience of this, where everyone else is falling over everything. Look, especially if you're a parent, this is what I can imagine, just from my thought process. If everything's fucking falling apart around you, everyone's distraught or or well, whatever. Look, if it's your role, if you take it upon yourself to be the rock, to be the strong thing, and to make sure everyone else is cool. If you got to toughen up, not cry, and just be there as like a fucking pillar of strength. Selflessly a pillar of strength. How is that? How is that leading by example? How is that not showing that you're upset, but being a pillar of strength, being strong? How is that a negative thing? How is that a negative thing? You know, you're gonna have to let it out at some point. But you can do, you can do that. You can let it out on your own. It just seems to me it's like you don't get it. I mean, it took me a long time to get certain things, but like that's just the spending money thing. So I'm just me. But this, a few months after the fight, Nathan discovered the Mankind Project. That's man and kind, yeah. A non-profit training and education organization that hosts experiential personal development programs for men. He enrolled in a 3-day intensive training and followed up with a 10-week integration group. Branding-wise, Mankind caters to a traditionally masculine demographic. Their initiations are called New Warrior Training Adventures. Shut the fuck up. But they spend a lot of time working with stereotypically unmasculine things. Like what? Butt plugs and Barbie dolls. Like emotion. Unmasculine. Excuse me. Have you ever been out on a Friday night and seen men drunk as fuck fighting? It's the most emotional shit I've ever. Like, is that not letting your emotions run riot? Are you fucking mental? Like, that's what it is. Emotions is it's the emotions that take over. Like, you say, oh, you should suppress your you shouldn't suppress your emotions. Well, you probably shouldn't, but like, also, you shouldn't let your emotions shouldn't take you over, you know. Through the program, Nathan learned to study his feelings and figure out exactly where they were coming from, he says. He was also given the tools to conduct proactive check-ins with himself and taught how to de-escalate his anger. Well, that's good. That's positive. Good. Good. Some people need that. I needed that at one point, you know. But but it's just the point of where this is coming from, isn't it? It took this angle of this article is what I'm talking. It took a lot of self-reflection to understand how I'd been projecting my frustrations about my home life onto this girl. I'd always known things like taking responsibility and doing emotional work could be facets of masculinity, but putting them into practice in my own life completely changed how I related to my family. Maybe this girl, this daughter, this stepdaughter, is a fucking cunt though. Like, I don't know. Maybe she deserved it. Did you ever think about that? She had it coming? I don't know. We need more context on what happened. When news of Harvey Weinstein scandal, oh here we go, broke out in October 2017, Google searches for toxic masculinity jumped 50%. Yeah, that's because the media kept talking about it, okay? So that's why it jumped. It's not as if people went, oh, that's what it is, of their own accord, is it? You know, you could call it anything. You could call it Nooba Booba Hooba Hooba syndrome and just make it up and they'd be searching for that. Almost overnight, the movie producer, who was eventually accused of sexual harassment and or assault by more than 80 women, became the poster child. Child? Can't really call Harvey Weinstein a child. He's enormous. Of what has come to be known as toxic masculinity, the narrow, bullying form of manhood that glorifies sexual conquest, violence, and the subjugation of others. You mean winners? Now let's be straight up about this, okay? Mankind, since its inception, well, since it came about, the way things got done was definitely through conquests and violence, okay? And also sexual conquest is like, women have more control over that kind of shit anyway, you know, since the days of, you know, rape being cool, being gone, you know, Vikings and such. But violence and subjugation of others is kind of how the world has ticked on by. Well, the reckoning that followed through the subsequent #MeToo movement made it seem as if a turnkey moment in discussions of accountability and gender dynamics was imminent. The events of the past year, from deadly incel attacks to Brett Kavanaugh's behaviour during his confirmation of the Supreme Court. What do you mean, the smear tactics used against Brett Kavanaugh? I've seen all that shit, man. Like, come off it, like. something happened like 30 years ago and he's someone that you don't like. Piss off. That's political bullshit. Don't bring politics into this shit. Well, no, this is all politics, isn't it? What am I talking about? Prove that we still have a long way to go. What the Brett Kavanaugh incident happened in the 80s, didn't it? Whether he did it or didn't, whatever it was, didn't it happen in the... What? There are a growing number of men across the country who, like Nathan, are attempting to travel the distance. Really, it's like this example of this guy, what? He had a row with his daughter. She was blatantly just probably being obnoxious, and he pushed her over. I was like, and what? So what? They had a fucking spat. The Mankind Project is part of a nationwide... It's not like he fucking... You know, it's not like... You bring Harvey Weinstein into it, and yet this guy just had a little spat with... And he pushed her over. He just got into a rage, as people do. People do lose it sometimes. It's not like he's a serial fucking rapist. Jesus. Anyway, run by gender researchers, social justice groups, NGOs, and artists. Oh my god, just the worst of humanity. Just throw in some Nazis, some rapists, and some fucking, you know, just child murderers. You got all the worst people on earth there that have come to be known as the Healthy Masculinities movement, a grassroots effort to reshape the way men define and embody manhood, in order to curb the problems its more toxic expressions can create. And while that often starts with curbing anger and aggression, it typically comes to encompass far more. I'm not going to read that big writing bit. It's not clear exactly how many of these programs exist, but some, like Promundo and Men Can Stop Rape. What sort of name? Men Can Stop Rape? Why would you call something that? That's so stupid. Men have got more chance of stopping rape than women have. So yes, men can stop rape. I say statistically, probably more often. Claim to have reached millions of men looking for healthier ways to express masculinity. They do this primarily by offering men a new definition of masculinity, often referred to as progressive or modern masculinity, that rejects the narrow scope of what's traditionally considered manly. Depends on what you're talking about, what's considered manly. I know what I think is considered masculine, like responsibility, being a provider. Like that's kind of like how it's been for a long time. You know, progressive masculinity is about being in touch with your emotions and not being afraid to be vulnerable, says Stephen Hicks, who first learned about his new type of manhood from a program called Rethink Masculinity. These all sound like fucking brainwashing camps, which he now co-directs. It's asking for help when you need it, showing up, taking accountability, and doing the emotional labour to support the communities and people whose hard work you've benefited from. It's realising you're not entitled to anyone's body or time, understanding consent, and affirming the richness of personhood, diversity, and masculine expression. Personhood, diversity. Developed through a partnership between advocacy groups, Collective Action for Safe Space. This gets worse and worse. Collective Action for Safe Spaces. Get fucked. And Rethink, along with DC Rape Crisis Center. Oh, that's quite serious. Rethink Masculinity is a 2-month-long course in Washington, D.C. that aims to promote equality, intervene in gender-based violence, by teaching men progressive masculinity. What about progressive femininity? Like, you go deep into all this kind of things of like the way women and men interact with each other, and it's sort of like it's all men. It's all men. Well, this is some bullshit. You know, from personal experience with toxic relationships, that's a fucking thing. And going through violent shit going on. But it's a to and fro. The fact is, but the thing is, you're a man. Unless you're with Brienne of Tarth, you know, you're gonna, if you get into violent altercations with a partner, you're gonna come out on top a lot of the time. And that's the kind of the problem. But girls have to take responsibility too. This is the thing, you can't just put it all on one side. Everyone has to take responsibility, but there seems to be this whole shift of like, oh, the men have got to take all the responsibility. And I agree they got to take responsibility. Hell fucking yeah. I know some... Hell, me? Hell yeah. Yes. I learnt the hard way. But I definitely feel like that they just... a lot of girls don't take responsibility. But there are girls who are out there who do and point it out. You know, I used to have, like, you know, female friends who go, oh, no, because the situations I got in, they'd be like, oh, well, she had it coming, this. I was like, no, I was weak. I said, it doesn't matter what bullshit she did, how much of a prick she is, you know, all the ways she pushed, you know, she pushes and does all that. I'm responsible for my actions, and it's a weakness that I'd fucking let her push me that far. But at the same time, ladies, you got to understand, is like, you can't be doing that shit neither. Because I remember, you know, I went to a special needs school when I was younger, and there was a lot of mental kids at that special needs school. Everyone was like dyslexics, dyslectics, dyspraxics, general loons, like all kinds of nutters, ADHD, like all of it. And it was like, the general rule is that if you got into a fight there, and there was a lot of fighting, and it was like, if someone punched someone, it was usually the person that got punched that got interrogated more. They say, well, what do you say to him? It was always like that, because they understood the whole thing. Pushing buttons. But it's never like that. It's like, you know, you push and push. If you know someone's got... This is the thing. If you know someone's got a weakness, and you're pushing until they fucking snap, right? Well, who's the cunt in that situation? You got to think about these sort of things. Who is the asshole? Push. Bang! You know, you always talk about people preying on the weak, but it's only the right kind of weak person, like the impoverished. You know, I'm poor. You know, I'm being preyed upon by someone. I am weak. I am poor. Someone's rich. They are strong. They are preying upon me. But if you've got a weak male mentality, and I've had a weak male mentality, and you've got someone who's got a stronger mind and knows how to push you, and they're pushing, and you react and clock or whatever it is, or you do something fucked up, and you might rob them. You might, I don't know, set fire to their car. Who knows? I know many people have done crazy shit. But where's the thing is where you're a stronger minded person pushing to get that reaction from someone who's weaker? Where's the representation? Where's the love and the compassion? Where's your love and compassion and kind, warm huggies for those weak people, the weak males who react that way? No, you just persecute them and throw them under the fucking bus. You know, it's not like I'm out there going, oh, well, let's all hug all the weak males. No, I think they need to sort them fucking selves out. You can only find your own way. I had to find my own way in many situations. I never asked for help for nothing. Not in that sort of shit. I had to figure out myself. Do you know what I'm saying? But I definitely don't go around. I don't go around acting like a victim, and I don't go acting around like a fucking aggressor. I just understand what it is, but I don't see what, you know. Where's it? You talk about love and compassion and helping the needy and helping the weak. You're full of fucking shit. You're full of so much shit. Like, stop talking shit. It's had enough of it. Like, just shut up. Just stop. Just stop with your shit. It's bullshit. It's all whether it suits your agenda or it doesn't. There's nothing about compassion. I see no compassion or love or understanding here. It just suits whatever bullshit you're peddling. The collective action for safe spaces. Men can stop rape. Pro mundo. Rethink masculinity. This all sounds like something out of a fucking nutty propaganda book. Like, this is insane. You're full of so much shit. You don't give a shit about... Who knows what you care about? I have no idea what you care about. No idea. This is insanity to me. I don't even know if I want to read any more of this fucking bullcrap. It's just so much wank. I just think it's not even worth anybody's time. Was it each week the 20-odd participants and assigned articles to read on subjects like emotional labour, microaggressions and structural violence? Then they come together to process the material through group discussions and exercises which are usually facilitated by past participants. Oh, some more pussy boys come along and facilitate. Hicks tells broadly that the Week 4 unit, which focuses on consent and rape culture, is typically the hardest for students, led by an experienced rape crisis counsellor. The men start off by discussing what role they might be playing in propagating rape culture. Even if they haven't been perpetrators themselves, RTM facilitators encourage them to think about how they might be part of a larger system of inequality that makes sexual assault a rampant problem and give them real-world ways to intervene. Yeah, we've been intervening for a very long time. There's probably so many people locked up in jail because of rape, as in people who went and murdered rapists, or fucked up a rapist, or fucked up someone because they thought they were a rapist. Jesus, come on. Hicks shared that typically as tense and complex portrait of participants' relationships to sexual consent and assault emerges over the course of the unit. Some men reveal themselves to be perpetrators, he says, while others come out as survivors, some both. Oh my God. Do you know, look at all this crap. There's more of it. You know, all this. Half an hour. I know it talks for like 10 minutes off the book, but like, what's this? Like all the programs, it starts with a gender box exercise. The facilitator draws a box and whiteboard, and students call out stereotypes of masculinity that go inside. Tough, bully, angry, fighter. The consequence of behaving outside the box are written beyond the perimeter. Laughed at, beat up, dumped. Look, if you're so weak that you have to like live your life, if you have to live as your gender, as what some weird ideas that other people have about what it is to be a man, then you're fucking weak. You're weak. Nature does not have respect. This is what annoys me so much. Nature is harsh. It always has been. Nature is harsh. It's hard fucking core. Everything that exists has been through something harsh happening. You know what I'm saying? It's like even the theory of the Big Bang. Not exactly. It wasn't the big. Oh, hello. It was boom. Everything blew up. Nature is harsh, by definition. It's harsh. Everything is fucking harsh. You get past a certain age, you start to wrinkle. You can't walk as quick as you could. Your libido goes. Your eyesight falters. You start to develop cysts and bunions and varicose veins. Nature is horrid. It's horrific. Childbirth is fucking... Childbirth is one of the most natural, wonderful things on planet Earth. But you can't put it on daytime TV. It'll scare the kids. It's horrific. It's screaming. It's pain. All kinds of shit comes out of vagina. Like a fucking head this big comes out of something that sometimes you can't even get two of them in. Life is fucking horrific and harsh and very hard. It's tough. It's tough. You're going against, this is like a defiance against nature. It's bizarre. This is so bizarre to me. You don't understand, like, it is all harsh. Tough, bully, angry, fighter. Yeah. Some men love fighting. I don't. Because I don't think I'm any good at it, and I hate losing, so that's why I never get in fights. It's actually a reason. It's more egotistical than anything else. Plus, I don't like my face. Plus, with my work, I don't want my face damaged, you know. I don't like, you know. But punch me here, it's fine. But not this. But no, seriously, it's like nature by definition is hard and violent and horrific. That is it. That is being alive. That is nature. That's it. Tough, bully, angry. You know, definition can be how boys and girls are like. You know, masculinity. Ugh. All this violence and harshness. Oh, you got dumped. Oh, you gotta be tough. You gotta be a fighter. Yeah, you do, just to even be alive. Just because we've created this multicultural society where everything's just way too easy, because we got everything. We got more than we need. We have more stuff than we fucking possibly need. This is where you always wonder, like, where is progress going to get us to when we have so much stuff, when everything is so quick and so convenient? Where's it going to get us to? It's getting us to fucking nonsense clown land. Nonsense land. This is ridiculous. Life, by definition, is violent, disgusting, and hard and harsh. Nature takes no prisoners. It does not care. about your feelings. It ignores them. It will devour them. It doesn't care. The elements are out there. You go into the sea and there's a big wave, it could drown you. There is a fire, lightning, storms, animal, whatever, disease, all this shit is gonna fuck you up. So you gotta be tough, because there's shit out there that's gonna fuck with you. Nature. Because where is this gonna progress to? You want to save the planet? Probably in 50 years' time, they're gonna try and hold the planet, Mother Nature, accountable and try and change nature because it's become too harsh. That couldn't be the only logical step. I have no idea why they're trying to save the planet, because the next step is like, well, the planet's too harsh, we're going to have to fucking rein it in and genetically modify everything so it's not nasty to us anymore. Jesus Christ. Honestly, these intellectual half-wits, it's just like, oh my God. Stop it. Just be quiet. Fucking go into the jungle and get eaten by a snake, for goodness sake.